All right, good evening, you guys. Happy Monday. Happy December 18th, 2023. I hope you guys are doing great. Looks like I've got a few people on. I am using the glass plate tonight, so this is going to be my first time actually using it. So you're going to see some glare with my ring light that's above me. So I got to position this. I have no idea how to position it. So I'm just gonna fool around here on my desk. You will see that ring light. There's nothing I can do about it because this is a glass mat. But I'm trying to get it to where it's not so distracting. But so let me just, it's gonna take some practice. Okay, that's better, except for you do see the lights above me. So let me, oops, I don't want my fan on. Hold on. Let me turn those off and see if you still have some good light. All right, it looks like it's better. So I think I'm gonna go with this and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we've got Teresa, Carla, Debbie. Okay, so we've got 5 people. Let us know where you're watching from. That's always fun. I know I have some teammates here from the Inspired Daisies team. So that's great. They'll get to see me working with the Light and Airy. No, Flight. Did I put Flight? Yeah, Flight and Airy 12 by 12 designer series paper. I screwed up in my first comment there. I called it Light. It's Flight. Flight because of the birds and airy because we need air. Okay, so, all right, so it looks good. All right, so just a couple things. Let me pull down off my wall a couple things. Did you know that I have a downloadable my Stampin' Up! Rainbow order, color order? It's on my website, inspiredbygram.com, and this is how I put my cardstock and my inks in order on my paper, Stampin' storage paper holders, and also my ink pad holders as well. So I do it in rainbow color. And again, it's a PDF that you can download. So if you would like to know what my rainbow color is, you can definitely download it and take a look. It's a PDF. So I didn't actually tell you about this. It's been up for a couple of weeks, but I just remembered that I saw it on my wall, and I said, I don't think I've shared that yet. So it is there. It's on the side menu. Come January, late January, I'm working with a website developer to overhaul my website. Now that website has been with me since, I don't know, maybe 8 years or so. I'd have to go back and look. It's just an estimate. It does its job, but it really doesn't do its job. So I'm working with somebody that is very like in depth with Stampin' Up. They're not a Stampin' Up! Employee. They just work with stampers. She's actually a demonstrator, but she's been very helpful to me, and she is going to be working on my website. So I'm excited about that. That will be coming at some point in January. So that is that. You have a day and a half to sign up for my monthly card club, which is Meandering Meadows. Oops, you don't need to see that. That was my rewards for this month. Or yeah, you didn't want to see that. Okay, because it's a secret. All right, so here are the cards. You'll get to make 2 of each design using the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper. It's so beautiful. Like every single pattern I love, and I know you will as well. We're using the birds and the dragonflies and birds, adhesive backed. They're goldish color. And I also splattered some Wink Stella on every single card, but you probably can't see that from where you're sitting. But that is card number 1. Card number 2 is a hello card. And I'm using the double oval punch, which is my all-time favorite one. And then here is a little stamped image on the inside. I use the scalp contours dies for the white in the inside. So these are super easy scenery cards that anybody can make really quick and easy. And right after the holidays, we want quick and easy, right? Because we have been working our butts off to actually make Christmas cards and get those all done. So here's another one. I'd say those are black-eyed Susans. Those are like my mom's favorite plant flowers, I believe, because they're all over their property. So I'm only going to assume, I can't ask her now, but she planted them and they always came up every year. So I think of her on this card every single time I see it. And then on the inside, I just stamped one of those little images. Okay, and then on the front, isn't that really nice? That envelope, just by adding a strip of scrap designer series paper, it just really adds a lot to the front. Now I did this with some Christmas cards, and so what I did on my address label, I just flipped it over and I put my address label on the back side. As long as it's somewhere on the envelope, and if it has to come back to you, the postmaster will see that. And then the final card is this one right here with the arch and the fence. You get a little cute little array of flowers there. Melon mambo, crushed curry, and here's a dragonfly and a couple birds there. And then when you die cut this, it's a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white. You die cut this, well, this comes out. And then I used it on the inside on top of another piece of the designer series paper, Meandering Meadows. And then I didn't want to waste it, so that's what we're going to be doing with this card. We'll be utilizing it. And then here's this front too. So I know a lot of you that are watching are part of my card club. In January, my price is going to be going up just because the price of everything is going up. And I've had this at $39 for such a long time, and I know I've had to increase it. I don't like increasing pricing, but I also have to not like break the bank on it and like lose money either. So it will be going up in January. Price has not been announced yet, but this is the last month. You can sign up at the grandfathered price of $39 per month. I've already had a couple people sign up, so make sure you go to my website, click on the image. You'll see the Meandering Meadows Card Club on the right side, and you can sign up. It's a recurring subscription, but you can actually cancel at any time. You can come and go, kind of like Paper Pumpkin. And then after 6 consecutive months, I send you $25 worth of Stampin' Up! Product. And it's all great product that I know you'll use. There's staples in your craft room like adhesive blocks, all kinds of good, like snips, Wink Stella sometimes. It all depends on what is available with Stampin' Up! At that time. So 8 cards, $39 a month. That includes shipping. And also all the images here. No stamping, of course, or inks or adhesive, but as always, you can add those on or place an order with me to do that. If there's any questions, let me know on that. If you're wondering where my magnet board came from, well, this is one of our kits. It's in the kits collection. I think it's $25, but I can't quite remember off the top of my head. I use these every single month on my wall. I have 4 of them. One of them is strictly for Card Club. The other one is my free with a purchase. And I also have another one that is for a mini catalog paper share, not paper share, swap that I'm in. And also I have a couple, another one just for Parks and Rec and the independent living facility that I teach at. So I love having things on my wall so I can visually see them. And it reminds me of what I need to do on a daily basis. So that is my card club. I hope you join up. Let's see, what else? Okay, so I'm going to be working with the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. I did send out my email earlier, late this afternoon, like always. But this is my free with a purchase card class for December 15th through the 31st. You'll have to use my host code, which is way over here. And I will be updating my blog and other places. I do need to update it. I just didn't have enough time to do that. So you'll get to receive all the supplies to make 4 cards from my kits. It will also include like some of this baker's twine. I'm going to go over some of the things that we're using once we get to each card. But I'm going to show you them really quickly so then we can get started here. I'm using the Layering Leaves stamp set, but you can use whatever one you want to use. And then on the inside, again, I'm going back to piecing up some Designer Series paper and scraps that were on my table because we can use those to make insides of your cards look really pretty and your envelopes too. So this is how I combine this one here. So that's going to be card number 1 that we're making. And then I love this one. This is my favorite one. This is fussy cut out of the Designer Series paper. Don't worry, it's not that hard. I didn't even have my paper snips. I don't know where my 2 paper snips went in my craft room. I have no clue where they are. But I think they might be in my in-person class supply bins in my basement, so I had to go down and get some. But I used some old school scissors to cut this out. They're like the kids version. Let me show you. This is what I use to fussy cut the birds. So if I can do it with these kind of scissors, they're Crayola scissors, then you should be able to do it with easily with some paper snips. So I've got an embossed panel here. I use pecan pie and crumb cake. And then on the inside, very basic on the inside. And then I did some lovely stamping. Not really, but I went kind of crazy on that one. It's double stamping. I'm going to try that one again with you guys. And then here are the, what are these? These are the elements. They're the, let's see, textural elements. We still have these, and they're not in the catalogs, but they're there. I just don't know if they've switched them to an online exclusive or what have you, but they are still there. And I'm going to show you how I colored in this element. Here it's wood. And then here's some new baker's twine that is in the mini catalog. This is a die from a set from I've never even used it. On the inside here, it's just another piece of the DSP. I'm using fresh freesia in this one. And then look at this. Just little tiny scraps of your designer paper can make a really nice element on your envelope. And that's 2 different pieces, a 1/2 inch and like a 1/4 inch, just reverse side. And then finally, this one here, I really wanted to use this pattern here, which is basically in your, it's pecan pie with a little bit of, I think that's crumb cake there. I think I need to like zoom in a little because I don't think you can see this very well. Okay, I'm going to try to zoom in. Hopefully that didn't just go too crazy. I used dies, 3 different dies here. This is an edge piece because you can see this is straight, but we want to use our edge pieces with our designer paper because we need to. We're not going to throw them out. So I'm going to show you how I did this with the mini cut and emboss machine. And these are the new, what are they called? Thoughtful Expressions dies. I started making a template. I have it all die cut and everything except for one. I can't find one of these dies. I don't know where it went, so I gotta check my garbage container. It's probably in there. And then here's this one. And then on the inside, I think it was just the same thing, white with a strip of designer paper. Okay, so let's get started. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna focus on the class itself. And then if I remember, I'll go back and look at comments and see if there's any questions. But The paper here is, again, called Flight and Airy. It's a 12 by 12 pack. And of course, if you've got 2 patterns on each side, it's from Celebration. You can earn this paper for free with a $50 order starting on January 4th. Right here, it says January 4th to February 29th is the celebration period. And again, it's a first come, first serve type of thing. And when they're out, they're out. I know this paper is going to be super hot, so you might want to get it while you can. I am stockpiling it for a class that I'll be offering in March. So I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the front and the back cover to give you a hint on what is in the inside here. So if you'd like a Stampin' Up! Catalog, you're not working with a current demonstrator, of course, please shoot me an email. I would be happy to put one in the mail for you. I just got them today. I didn't even get my 2-day shipping order. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the brook because we have had so much rain today that coming up the mountain road is like springtime here in Vermont. It's all mud, like totally crazy mud. I don't know how much rain we've had, but the whole East Coast is like, just got hammered today and last night. So I hear a lot of wind outside, so if we lose power, then I'm going to have to say I can't finish the video and I'll do it another time, but the lights have been flickering all day today. So, all right, we're going to be using the Layering Leaves stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set. Mostly using the sentiments, of course, and I'm going to try to restamp the foliage on one of the envelopes. And you'll see when I use them, they are so loved. Like this is one, I can hardly even read it. It says, thank you so much. But when you use the reds, inks and such, your photopolymer will stain. But it doesn't affect the stamping of it at all. So don't worry about that. In front of me is the stamping glass, the Studio, which you can earn or you can add to your starter kit in January as a new demonstrator. We would love to have you on the Inspired Daisies team. This is one of the things that you can get as part of your starter kit. It's a $60 value. And I was able to, and I think I got this on my order because I woke up at 4 a.m. to put my pre-order in, and only so many demonstrators were able to order this. And I think I was one of the lucky ones to get one of these. Not everyone did. So I'm going to try to use it. What you see in front of me is the glass. It's 17 inches across. I didn't even measure it. And I can tell you if you're interested. I know I'm going way off, but that's 12 inches plus 5. So that's 17 by 12, 13, 14 inches. And it's in US in the metric versions. This is part of the accessory or part of it that you get with it. This is like your silicone craft sheet. This you can use for different things. I wanted to show you that you can add your Stampin' spots. And I'm going to move this down because you can't see it. I just noticed. Okay. It's a little crooked too. All right. So this, again, this part is the silicone craft sheet. Again, I haven't used it yet, so we're going to check it out, but at the same time. And then here you can add your mini Stampin' spots here, or you can use this as a palette for inks, different ink colors, and then same down here as well. And then it comes with this little chamois, and this can clean up your glass. You can stamp on the glass like you're stamping off the edge. It will not harm your glass. Alcohol will not harm it. Heat embossing, it's going to be a great thing for us. So for any new demonstrator or new people that would like to join Stampin' Up, of course, I would totally get this. It's quite heavy. I don't know the pounds on it, but also I wanted to say that I'm keeping these things. These are for shipping, and they came on the corner here. Whoops, goes this way. and that's to protect the glass. And I'm going to be bringing this to some of my classes so people can check it out. Okay, so I'm keeping those. I'm not going to throw them out, but I don't want them on here when I'm actually using it. So I want it to lay flat. All right, so I'm going to wait for my, I feel like I'm too close with the camera. So I'm crooked too. So just bear with me. I want to be straight so it doesn't cause chaos. So I'm just waiting for my laptop to catch up. It's not catching up. If someone could actually comment, maybe I would see that first. I don't know. Okay, we're going to get started anyway. We're going to be making the thank you so much card. Okay, so let me grab some of the things that we're going to be using. And I'm going to be using a boho blue, but the scallop contours is the die that I use, and I use this one right here for the outside. And on another card, I used this one here for the white panel for the inside. So I'm using scallop contour dies on 2 different cards. The in color jute trim I used on this card, and the color over here is boho blue, which is the color of the cardstock. I'm going to show you how to use that as well. And also the gems, the iridescent foil gems are part of the mini catalog for 2024. And there are, let's see, how many are in here? I didn't mark it. Oh, there's 100. And they come in 2 different sizes. So I'm not sure what the count on that is. Probably 50 and 50, of course. I've used already 1 entire row plus a couple other ones. But on the inside of these gems here, there's like gold. And I don't know if you're able to see the sparkling of it or not. But it does sparkle. So this you can receive for free with a $50 order or above for December's class. All right, so we are going to pull everything out here. There's lots of little pieces here. Make sure I got them all. All right, I got my little cheat notes here so you know what the sizes are. I'll put that over here. I've got a piece of the basic white thick, and I'm looking for my bone folder. And I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't. All right, this will be good. All right, so I've got a piece of basic white thick, and it's going to be going this way. So I'm just going to pretend I've got a bone folder here. I'm going to use my Wink of Stella. I'm just going to crease that just so that my card will lay front or flatter for me. And then I've got the scallop contours. I've already die cut it. Sometimes you have to take out the little pieces here with your take your pick tool, but it die cuts really, really well. So I'm very pleased with it. And then I have a piece of the designer series paper, which is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then on the back side is this one here. So if you wanted to see what it would look like this way, it's really pretty either way. Maybe I will stamp it with this showing. That way you've already seen this one. So maybe I'll show you with this side, and then we can see how it goes from there. And then these are all the little pieces that I will need to kind of decorate the rest of the card here. So I'm going to do my stamping first. And I've got a piece of the boho blue. I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat, which hopefully you can see. I've got my stamp, and as you can see over here, I just wanted to show you the Stampin' spots that you can actually put here. If you don't want to have the larger ink pads, this works great. And it just kind of comes off. You could take your stamp and kind of come over here if you wanted to. I'm just going to use my bigger ink pads just because it's a little bit quicker. All right, so I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it more on the right side because over here is where I'm going to put that bow. So hopefully this is kind of straight. Yep. So I didn't go tone on tone, boho blue on boho blue, because I wanted this sentiment to pop. In order for it to pop, you need to use a darker color. So I went with Misty Moonlight, which is in the designer series paper, which I have forgot to show you, but I'll show it to you probably at the end. Okay, that's all the stamping we're going to be doing for this card. And I'll close that up. And now we're going to assemble it. And I'm going to use my glue. You're going to hear me tapping on this glue because I'm trying to use up all of the glue that we used with when we made all the almost 400 cards for the holiday baskets. And I've got like 20 bottles that everybody said were dry, but you know what? They're not. You just got to tap them. So I'm going to use them up. Okay, so that's really pretty right now, just like that. I'm going to flip it over. We're going to add our Stampin' Dimensionals to the back side of this one. And I want to add, I'm going to put this over here so you can see it better. See, I'm getting used to how to use this. So just kind of bear with me. Okay, so I added 5 just because this is a really large panel. And I'm going to peel these off because I need to get my Cheeker Pick tool. I thought it was all ready, but I guess not. All right, so I added 5 dimensionals to the back side. This is going to go straight down on the card. So just like this. Okay, got that pretty straight, but not 100%. So let me just try to, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so then I want my sentiment. Now, I first was looking at it and said, you know, do I just add it straight down to the paper or do I pop it up? I think you need to pop it up just to give it a little lift and so you can see it better and doesn't get kind of like masked in, if you will. So we're going to add 3 dimensionals to this one. So 1 on the outsides, each side, and then 1 on the inside. And then we'll peel those off. This is a card that you can easily mass produce. It doesn't take very much time. Any of these that I'm working with today are easy to mass produce. And every single sheet of this designer series paper, Flight and Airy, is beautiful. So since we don't have any like birds on it like this one here, I'm going to move this up just a little bit. I might want to, actually, I'm going to put it a little bit higher. Try to get it in the middle, about right there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I've got, this is the jute ribbon, and I've already made my bow and put it on a glue dot. It's kind of crazy, but looking, if you can kind of see that mess. It looks kind of a mess, but actually in person I really like it. So what I did was I took a piece long enough so I knew I could create a bow with the 10-second bow maker. That's what I use. So then I just clipped or snipped it off, and then these pieces here will split apart. You can usually get 4 out of it. So you can see I split them apart, and then you can simply pull this out. And now you've got a piece that's kind of like linen thread, okay? And then you can easily tie a bow, and sometimes you get it frayed like this, which kind of adds a little bit. So I'm gonna take this off the glue dot. I don't know if it's gonna add anything or not, but it can make it look a huge mess, but I'm gonna go with it. And I'm going to just add this over here at an angle, just to fill in the gap over here of all the boho blue. And then you're just going to want to snip the ends to make it the size that you would like. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now. I'm going to take these other two strips. Two of them are for the envelope, and then two of them for the inside. So the one with the envelope is going to be 4 3/8 inch. So that one's going to be that one. And then, let's see. Oh, I know, I did this a little bit different. Okay, so this is going to go here, and then this one's going to go on the envelope. All right, so to do that, this is kind of what it looks like here. You could do it the other way if you wanted to, but if you did it the other way, where the boho blue's on the front, you guys, I am so out of the picture. Like, I don't like that. So I'm going to zoom out again. Sorry about that. Maybe that's going to be a little bit better. So if you wanted to use the boho blue on the top, just cut this down to like 1/4 of an inch. That way it's not covering up the designer paper. And then it should look pretty good. But I'm going to just add this with some liquid glue. You don't need a lot. As you can see, I barely put any on it. And then I'm just going to center this on the inside. And then I'm going to take this remainder piece of designer paper. Oh, we use this side, so this is going to go this way. And I'm going to just add this over top of it to give it a little bit of color. And I'm just going to center this, and I'm putting the designer paper right on the edge, right along here. And that's how I designed the inside. All right. And then our envelope is done the same way. All right. Just make sure your flap is at the top. And you can do it, I'm going to do it the same way. So I'm going to add this tiny strip. It's about 1/4 of an inch, give or take, just a scrap. And I'm going to add it right to here. It's almost, I cut it a little bit too short, but that's okay. I just, oops, that's my glue cap. Oh, and it's not really straight. So I can take this a little bit and move it. And then I want, this side is going to be the back. And then just kind of look at the pattern to make sure if it's, you know, directional, you want it going the correct way. Again, this is just a piece of scrap. And this way I'm using all my scraps and I don't throw anything out. All right, the final touch is we'll go back here and we will add some of the, again, these are the iridescent foil gems. They do have some really nice sparkly gold in them. I'm going to add 3 to create our triangle. So I'm going to add a larger one down here. And then I'm going to add a smaller one. Let's see. Let's go. I'm going to go over here because I want this little smaller one over here. And then I'm going to take one of the larger ones and let's put it, let's put it right here. That way I have my triangle and that they're not up and down or straight across. And now your eyes will go all the way around the full card rather than just, you know, setting your eyes straight with the embellishments straight up and down. It doesn't work, believe me. Okay, so let's put these side by side and we can check. Here's the one we just made. It's very pretty. I would totally make this one a million times. It just looks really nice. And then if you want to add the birds, here's the one with the birds. Okay, so I'm gonna, while you guys are voting on, do you like the birds or do you like the flowers or do you like both? Let me know. And then I'm gonna see if there's any questions. If there's not, we'll move on to my favorite card, which is number 2. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, it's snowing, Carla. Yeah, it's supposed to snow, I think, tomorrow here. But I've been sick, so head cold. It's non-COVID head cold. And I went outside today to get some fresh air. I'm in shorts, by the way. It was 54 degrees here. Crazy. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any questions. I am going to be moving on to card number 2. All right, so let me just, oh wait, did you guys vote? I like both. I only see one vote. So make sure you're voting so we know. I like both of them as well. Okay, so this one I can tell goes, this envelope goes with this one, and then this envelope goes with this card. I'll save these for anybody that's coming on later tonight, and we'll go over those at the very end. Okay, we're going to be sending some hugs on the next card here. I'm going to have to fussy cut this piece, I believe. But like I said, if I can do it with Crayola scissors, you should be able to do it as well. All right, so let's take down what I'm going to be using in this one. All right, so the embossing folder that I used, which is right here, this white piece, it comes from the Countryside Blossoms. It's embossing folder. And I don't know if you can kind of see it or not. It's $8.50, well worth it. If you don't have this one in your craft room, make sure you get it. And that's kind of what it looks like if you wanted to see more detail. Okay, but it's actually the first time I've used it on this card. I just absolutely love it. Now the dies I used for the sending hugs comes from the Thoughtful Expression dies. This is a set that you can purchase from the mini catalog. I have it now because I was able to pre-order as a demonstrator 1 month earlier than customers. Again, I'm working on a template, and I just gotta find that other die and I'll be done it. But this hummingbird, oh my gosh, it is beautiful. I stamped it in black, but I think this would look, all of these images here will look so nice embossed in gold. I might try that as my next live next week. We'll see. But it's just gorgeous. Now, I don't know how to color hummingbirds. I guess I'll have to research that. But I can color flowers. But it's a cling stamp set. I don't even have my my stickers on yet. I do add those on, but I wanted to show you the dies. And as you can see, I'm missing this one right here, somewhere in my room. But I love these. These are like going to be a new staple in my craft room, and I hope they carry them into the new annual catalog for next year. I love the stitching on it, and that we have so many different shapes. And then on this side here, we've got some flowers, foliage. These are 3 tiny little flowers, some more leaves and foliage. And these are dies for all the stamped images. So you'll have dies for the flowers here, the hummingbird, and this one here. And then the sentiments, you can use the dies to cut those out as well. The only one is the Enjoy Your Day. I don't think we'll have anything in this set here that will work. But you can just use a 1/2-inch strip to stamp on that one. But that's the dies I'm using. And now we'll get started creating this lovely card. And I'm going to probably fussy cut first, just because I'm going to just do it. Now this, you can tell, is an edge piece. Do you see that? Okay. I will show you later how to use your edge pieces. I don't know as if I want to do that on this one though. Let me see. Maybe I will, and then I can always change it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of fussy cut around. If you guys need to go get a drink or have some dinner, well, you got a couple minutes to do that while I'm fussy cutting, but And I'm not very good at fussy cutting. And what you do is you turn your paper and then you kind of, sorry, I can't talk and fussy cut at the same time. You're just turning your paper as you're pushing down on the paper snips. And then over here, I do not get really close on the inside. I'm just going to go around the outside and kind of curve in. And then we're going to go over here. Sorry. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in my craft room right now with these lights. Okay, we're going to go around this one. And this one. And then we're halfway there. See, I'm turning the paper and I'm cutting at the same time. Now, if I was to fussy cut all of these, then I would just make sure I had a really nice TV show on or some really good music. Take my mind off fussy cutting. I know some people really don't like it and some people love it. So there's no die to cut these beautiful birds out. So next best thing is either use a die that will work, which you'll see in my another card that I'm making, or we get our paper snips out and we just do it. Okay. There we go. All right, that's done. I'm going to set that over there. And we're using crumb cake, by the way. I'm going to take this off so you can focus on my paper sizes over here. Okay, so this is 8.5 across by 5.5, and I've already scored it at 4.25. And then we have a piece, let's see. Okay, this is how I maximize my designer paper, because underneath here, we're not going to see it, right? So don't use it, okay? I cut 2 pieces, which are, let's see, how wide are these? It was 1 2/3, I think. 1 2/3 high, and it's 4 inches across. So what I'm going to do is I'll take my glue and I'm going to just put it on the back side here. Whoops. Now, I really hate to cover up those beautiful birds, but I actually need the other side. So I'm just going to put this up here with equal borders on the top left and the right side. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other strip, which is buried. Okay, just a little bit of glue will do ya. And then we'll add this one down here. Okay, so that's good. Then we have the embossed panel, okay, which is 4 inches across by 2 3/4 high. And just kind of look at it. This one is kind of directional because we've got some little flowers right there. We don't want them upside down. So I'm going to add my glue to the back side here. And then I've got a piece of the pecan pie, which is 4 inches across by 3 inches tall. And we're just going to add this down here. Now, when you emboss paper, we did start at 4 inches across. When you emboss it, it's going to either get bigger or smaller, depending on your embossing folder, okay? So if it doesn't, mine looks really good, but if it goes over the edge a little bit, then just trim it off with your paper snips. This piece here is going to be popped up with our dimensionals, and I'm going to be using 5 just because it is our focal point, and we don't want the this to buckle down. So we'll add those. And then we'll add it right to the front in the middle here. Let's see, this one here. So no one will know that we didn't use a full sheet. Okay, and you can maximize your designer paper. And I just checked to make sure this is going the correct way, which it is. And now I'm just going to hover over and make sure it's all straight. And if I like it, I'll push it down. If not, then I'll move it. I think it looks beautiful. Okay, so that's good. And we also have our little bird, which we need dimensionals on the back of this one. We need it popped up, give it some dimension. And let's see, how many do I need? I need one up there, one over here, and I think one here. I might need a little piece over there. So let me just trim one of these off because I'm still not sure if I'm going to be using this. So I'm actually going to just put that down there for right now, just to see. So if we use this straight edge, then it needs to be over here, like here. Okay. I think it's going to look great if I keep that on there. And I'll show it to you once we get, because I know you can't see that. So I'm going to add that little tiny piece of dimensional there. And then we'll peel these off, throwing them all over the floor. And now I'm going to line up this straight edge to the edge of the white. All right, and then I'll press it down. And then hopefully you can see this. It looks really nice, you guys. So make sure you're using your edge pieces. I could have cut this off if I wanted to, and then I could have pushed it over. But I do like that I kept this just because we have some foliage and a little bit of that flower. Next up is going to be stamping. So we need our pecan pie. And we also need sending hugs. And then I should have a piece of white die cut already right here in front of me. And there is a right and wrong side, so make sure you're stamping on the smooth side. And pecan pie. Another thing I like about this is that your ink pads won't move around and shuffle like if they were on a desk. And so that's really nice. I didn't really even have to hold on to that ink pad. Okay, that works pretty good. This is from let's see. It's this one right here, which is the smallest one from the Thoughtful Expressions. Okay, we're gonna close this up so we don't make a mess. Now this one here, I gotta figure out where I wanna put it. And this one here, I had it on half of the white and half of it on the Designer Series paper on this first layer down here. This one, I need to figure out where I want it. I know I want it popped up, but do I want it going to be going over the edge? I think I do, just to fill a little bit of this in. Okay. Where do I want it down? I think I'm going to put it up here with 2 dimensionals, and then so the dimensionals are going to go under the sending at the very top, and hugs is going to have the liquid glue, just because we want to keep it on the same level as this piece already here, because that's already popped up with our dimensionals. Okay, so I just added 2 to the top under sending. And then I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'll just add a little bit right here. And then we're going to scoot this in here. And now this sentiment is the same height as this panel here, okay? Next up is our inside panel, which is really quick. Just decide which side you're going to have showing. I'm going to have the same Designer Series paper color pattern as on the front. And just adding a little bit there. If it's over the edge like this one is, just take your paper snips. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. And we just trim that off. Oops. Add our glue. And then we'll add our paper here. I got a little carried away with the glue right up there. So you're not seeing this, but I'm just going to take my sleeve. It's going to come out in the wash. I got a little bit of ink here, so I'm going to see if I can get this off with my eraser. I don't think I can, but that's all right. All right, the last thing is our elements. Well, not elements, our, again, these are called the iridescent foil gems. We're going to take some and we're going to add them in the gaps. So I'll take a large one and let's see where I want to put it. I think over here. What I like about this embossing folder, it's got some areas here that are not embossed, so your dots and gems will go real nice in those areas. And again, I'm going to take another large one and let's add this one right here. And then a smaller one. Create that triangle. I could put it over here or I could put it over here. I'm going to go, oops, I'm going to go down to the lower corner over here. Come on. And then over here. Okay, so I've got my kind of triangle, boom, boom, and boom. All right, so here's our two cards. Oh wait, I did splatter Wink of Stella in on all of these cards. So how to do that? Just make sure you have some Wink of Stella in the barrel there, and you're just going to tap the cap, and it does splatter all around. And then it does kind of add a little sparkly effect to the front. All right, so there's this one with one bird. Here's the other one with two birds. Same kind of layout, but just using your edge piece on the right side there. So let me know what you think of this one. Oh, I didn't stamp my envelope. Okay, I'm gonna stamp my envelope while you guys are talking amongst yourselves. And I'm gonna stamp on the glass. I need to stamp off. I haven't tried this yet. You can stamp on the glass, supposedly. And we're gonna see how it comes out because I need to stamp off the solid piece. So stamp on there, and then I'm going to stamp over here for a lighter image, and then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to go kind of this way, and then we're going to fill in with the detailed stamp in full strength. This is where I messed up, and it's really hard to stamp when you don't have your head right over the top. So I can tell that I should have probably gone stamped off twice because I'll show you the comparison. So this is one we just stamped by stamping on the glass, and then this one here is the one I stamped off on paper. So 2 times on the glass would have been better than just one. Okay, so now you're asking, okay, you got a mess over there, Karen, how are you going to clean it up? Well, this comes with this nice little chamois, and you're just going to use it, and it gets all cleaned up. Okay, and it does go on the chamois. This is actually already starting to get dry, but all I did was put water on it. It soaks up the water so much easier than the regular purple chamois that we have. Okay, so let me just match up these envelopes. Did you guys decide which one you like better? Do you like the edge piece? Do you like both? Do you like 2 birds, 1 bird? Let me know. Okay, and while you're voting, I'm going to get ready for the next card. And this one is, we're going to be using those natural elements, which are the wooden ones. Okay, yeah, I hope your order's coming soon, Carla. It's so exciting this time of year because we get to use new product. And I'm all done creating my Christmas cards. The last batch went out today. My teammates are going to get a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day card or New Year's card because I have a stamp set that says Happy New Year, and I've never made New Year cards, so that's what you're going to get, you guys. I wanted to send a little bit later than Christmas, so we're just spreading the cheer past Christmas. Okay, so I didn't see any votes. You guys can still vote if you want. All right, our next card is the Thinking of You. And it's using fresh freesia. And I've got Flirty Flamingo here with the twine. And this is Misty Moonlight. And then the element we'll be coloring in with our Stampin' blends. And I have my Stampin' Right marker for the pecan pie because I don't know where my blends is for pecan pie. All right, so let's see what we've got in this one. This is how your kit would come when you receive this for my ordering special. All right, and there's your sizes if you want to write them down. Okay, we've got fresh freesia. Again, it's cut the same way. All the cards are cut the same way, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we have Misty Moonlight, which is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then we have the designer paper, which is 3 by 4. I love 3 by 4s because you can really maximize your sheet of 12 by 12. And I'm not going to use this backside this time. We are going to go with the birds because this is just kind of boring, right? Okay, so first step is really easy. We're just going to add this to the Misty Moonlight with just a little bit of a border. Okay, get on there straight. Okay, this one gets popped up again with our dimensionals. Since this is a little bit smaller, you can cheat a little bit and bring your dimensionals in about 1/2 inch. That way we don't need to put something in the middle. Make sure they're pressed down really well so they don't pull off when you take the backings off, and then you should be all set. Okay, here's our card base and our beautiful birds. If you wanted, you could put a piece of embossed paper underneath this panel. If you don't like this all plain, I think it looks perfectly fine, except for it's a little crooked. But I don't know, I pressed it down too hard, so it'll stay as is. I'm going to stamp first because I want this to dry. I've got Misty Moonlight ink. The die that I used came from a set that I haven't used yet, which is the mini pocket envelope dies. I want to try these out because they make a little pocket right here. I was going to do that earlier today. I just didn't have enough time, but I used this die right here for the sentiment. It fits perfectly with the, what did I use this one for? Thinking of You. All right, where's my Thinking of You? Is right here. Again, Misty Moonlight. I wanted that sentiment to pop and did not want to use the fresh freesia because it would blend in too much. And using that darker color, your sentiment will just really, really pop. That's all the stamping for this one. While that's drying, we're going to work on our element. You can have these angled 2 different ways. Here is the one which I angled it going this way, but if you wanted to flip it over, you could have it going that way as well. It doesn't really matter what side. I'm using my dark fresh freesia here, and I'm using the chisel point because I don't use the brush tip on this because we're going to press down into the wood, and I don't want that brush tip to break or disintegrate kind of on wood. Now this is getting soaked into the wood. This is alcohol-based markers, so permanent. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Let me just put this on some white. Okay, looks pretty. Hopefully you can see that good. Next up is our pecan pie. Since I did not have the Stampin' Blends, I went to my Stampin' Rate markers. I am using the brush point on this one because this is way too pointy and stiff to color in the stems here. So again, I'm just taking my pecan pie, which is part of the coloring in the paper. And I'm just gonna wait a second just because this is seeping in. This is a water-based ink, so I wanna make sure it doesn't get light on us. Just going over this a few times. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then here you go. Let's see what the, okay. Now what I did on this one here, I added some Wink Stella. I don't know if you can see it, but I added Wink Stella to all the, like, I call them berries, I guess. I don't know what they are. So I'm going to take my Wink Stella. I'm just going to get some more in the barrel there. Oh my gosh, it just went everywhere. Okay. I'm going to just lightly color in just the berry. I'm going to call them berries. There's a lot of Wink Stella coming out. I added rubbing alcohol to this. Like, you could do that. You take it all apart and add about a teaspoon of rubbing alcohol, and there's so much glitter in there. They'll last forever. Okay. My hands are so inky right now. Sorry about that. So now it's got a little bit of glitter on it. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, and we're going to work with the twine. So this again, this is called the Baker's Twine 3-color pack, and it's Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, and Balmy Blue. Okay, and it's kind of like our normal linen thread. It's very soft. I chose to use the Flirty Flamingo color because that color is in the designer paper. Oh shoot, I forgot to wrap it around. Darn it. Okay. Let's see if I can do it. I went ahead of myself. Okay. I'm just going to put this under here right now. And I'm going to rub these dimensionals off. And I'm going to sneak 2 more in there. And it should be okay. A little bent, but anywho. Okay, so now this, and what I did, I didn't want to waste any of this twine. So I cut this too short earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can tie a bow. If I can't, then I'm going to do something else with the little scrap I have over here. Wait a minute. This is going to be longer. I'm going to tie a knot here just because it's going to be easier. Okay, let's see if I can make a tiny bow. If I can't, then I'll use the piece. Gonna give myself a couple tries. Almost have it. I'm all about saving. I don't want to waste. I think I got it. Yes, I do. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay, I think that's okay. So now we'll take our element here. And I'm just going to slide it under here just to get a look at what it's going to do. I want to get this bow under this part here of the wood. So I'm just going to play with it right now before I finalize placement. I want it hanging over the misty moonlight. Okay, so half of this is going to have liquid glue, which is going to be all these berries on the right side. And then I'm going to just put a little bit on the stem. Everything else is going to be hanging over the edge, and we don't need any adhesive there. So we'll slide this underneath, match up that knot, and just press it down, hold it for like 5 seconds. Now this I want to secure with a mini glue dot, just because I don't want that to untangle. So let me just grab, I'm going to get my take the pick tool. Okay, let's start that over again. So I'm taking it off, and I'm going to just roll that up a little bit. And I'm going to lift up the bow, press down on the knot, and then I know that's going to be secure. Let me take my scissors. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Okay, then we'll just make sure this is straight. And then we'll take our sentiment. And on the first one, I only used 2 dimensionals, but I don't think it's secured very well. So I'm going to go with 4. And then it should stick better over the thread. Okay, I'm just going to sneak this in right here. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to press it down. Right now we're going to switch over to the inside of the card. And I have, let's see, I've got 3 pieces here. I've got 1, and these are for the envelope. So I think I'll use this because we got some birds. We can kind of see them. You can also use the back side. Doesn't really matter. And that's just hanging over the edge. So let me just take my paper snips just to trim that off. What I like about this too is I'm not losing my silicone craft sheet. It's right there in front of me the whole time. I just got to get used to using it. Again, this is the first attempt at using the Glass Mat Studio. So far, I really like it. Okay, so that's that one. Now we're going to take and decorate the front of the envelope. Okay, so we've got two pieces here. We are going to go, I think, yeah. I don't really want to cover up the birds, but again, I'm using scraps that I've used. And we're just going to add this one right here. And then we'll take this little piece of scrap. This would have gone in the recycling bin, but we can use these little pieces. And I'm just going to add this right to the middle of it. Okay, then I'm going to check to make sure that it's not overhanging. It's good there. It's overhanging at the top just a little bit, so we definitely have to trim that down for the post office. Again, I know these go through the mail because I've sent probably 100 of them. So it does work. All right, so next we'll go back to the card here and we're going to add some more of these little sparkly gems here, 3 of them. So we'll add a big one down here. I'm going to grab 2 little ones because there's not as much white space. 1, 2, and let's go here, 3. And I'm going to splatter it with a wink of Stella. And there we go. So here's the card. Here's the cute envelope. And then the one I made earlier is this one. Okay. So let me know what you think about this. Now, of course, I would lay some cardstock on top of this in the envelope to mail it. And I still think you'd be able to mail it with a regular stamp. Okay, and then, oh, this is for the other card. Put that one over there. Okay, so, oh, and then that's that next card. Okay, so let's see, any comments? Do I have anybody watching? Yes, I do. Okay, we're going to move on to card number 4, which is the last one. Again, this is, you can receive this card class free with a $35 or more order from my website, and if you want to get the embellishments, which are these iridescent foil gems, your order will need to be $50 or more. And I do have a host code here. If you are on my mailing list, you would have received the email today. If you're not, I'm going to be putting this on my website later tonight, hopefully, and then you'll have all the link and the host code there. But inspiredbygram.com is my website. All right, last one. This should go fairly smooth. I do need to do some die cutting because I wanted to show you how I use the edge piece. But I think we'll get most of the card done ahead of time. Oh, duh! Here it is. That's the die I'm missing, you guys. Oh, Lord. You have no idea. I searched and searched for that thing. Okay, we have pecan pie, 8.5 by 5.5. I've already pre-scored it at 4 1/4. I got my white envelope. And then this here is going to go right here. It's very earth color, right, with the pecan pie and crumb cake. There's a little bit of crumb cake in this pattern. And this is 4 by 5 1/4, by the way. Okay, so that's done. And then the next thing we need to stamp, so let me get the stamping done. And this is, I've already die cut this one from the designer paper. We'll take our Misty Moonlight, which is a darker color, so it does pop for us, the sentiment. So happy to celebrate you. I want to stamp it so this little curvy thing here at the top is at the top. Just going to angle my stamp. Oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that. That came out really nice. Okay, this one's going to have dimensionals on it, so I might as well add those while I have it in my hands. We'll need 3. I would just create a triangle very easily. And I'm going to prep this by just taking this off right now. And then I'll leave it on the silicone mat. I did say I need to die cut. So here's a strip. And I cut this, let's see, 2 3/4. And it's a little bit wider than this die. And the side I'm going to use this here. Okay. Let me close this up, and I need to get my mini cut and emboss machine. All of these will work, I believe, with a mini cut and emboss. Okay, so I've got plate number 1. I want to be able to, you guys to be able to see this. So I got number 1, and I've got number 2. And I've got my die, and my paper is underneath my die cutting machine. I'm going to move this out of the way just a second and slide this up. Okay, again, I'm aiming for this bird right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my die on here. And then I'm going to take the die. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but this here, I need to have an equal distance. Okay, so I'm going to have to eyeball this. I also want a little bit of the flowers up here so it's not all white. So I'm looking at that, and I think that's going to be good because I want some flowers here. And again, I need to tweak this a little bit. Okay, so that looks like it's about even. You can add washi tape if you want. I'm going to not do that. And I'm going to sandwich this in very carefully. And then let's crank it through. Sorry if I know everything is like shaking. Sorry about that. Nothing I could do there. Okay, let's see what we have. Get this all back here so we can use it. Okay, now this is still usable paper, okay? This down here you could use because we've got the bird. It can just go on the edge of the paper. This over here, not so much. Over here, not so much. This one, maybe you could use it on a corner, like, we'll just pretend this is paper. You could definitely use this one. I could die cut this out, or not die cut it, but fussy cut this out, and it still is going to look really nice on a corner of a piece of white. So don't throw those pieces out. Okay, so now here's what we're left with. Okay, so we have that straight, you're not going to see that. We have that straight edge. Okay, now let's assemble the card. This is going to be a little different because This one here is on the left side. This one's going to be on the right side. So I need to place this down because this one here, the fresh freesia, is going to go underneath. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this right now. Just pretend where this is all going to end up. I think that's pretty good. I need to cinch it in a little bit there, so I'll probably bring this down. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here, take this off, find my glue, and I'm staring right here is where I want to end up. Okay, so just put a little glue there so I could remember. All right, so that's the first layer. The next layer is going to be the bird, and we're going to glue this one straight down to the front of the card. And using liquid glue, it's easy to do this because we can move it. I think I want it to go up a little bit higher. And now the sentiment, I'm going to go over here. Okay, and these were all die cut out using those dies here, whoops, which are called the thoughtful expressions. Okay, and next is we're going to decorate the inside panel. And we've got our piece of basic white, which is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to add this strip here, which is just a scrap. I think it's 3/4 of an inch tall by, of course, 4 inches wide. Okay, and just make sure that is over the edge just a little bit. So we'll just take our paper snips, trim that off, and then add our glue. I'm using my shirt just to wipe that off, be easier. Okay, and then our envelope. Set this aside. Let's go to our envelope. We've got that piece and this one here. So what I did was I took this one here, and it's about 3/4 of an inch wide by 4 3/8 tall. And we'll just add that to the corner. And then here's another scrap of pecan pie. It's just a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. Again, it's 4 3/8 tall. And then I'm going to double check to make sure it's not hanging over the edge. It is right here. So let's make the postal carriers happy about that. They work so hard. And let's add the sparkles, the glitter, the embellishments. Oops. And this is kind of easy because we have lots of open space here to use. So we'll put one here. We're going to put one, oops, lost it. One over here. And then I'm going to use one of these bigger ones. 2, and then up here. Okay. We're going to splatter this one with some more Wink of Stella. You can also, if you want, color in the bird. Just brush stroke it. And there's our card. And let me show you this one here. Got a little bit of ink on this one, so disregard that. But I think this is super fun. What great paper. And then our envelopes to match. Okay, so that one will go that one. And then I'm going to show you the designer paper and all the colors that coordinate it with it for the cardstock. And then we'll recap and look at the cards one more time before we sign off. If you have any questions, now is a great time to ask them. I haven't seen any questions being posted, so I really don't know if, excuse me, if you've had questions or not. But here's the paper. Again, it's called Flight and Airy. It's celebration paper, so you can earn this free with a $50 order or higher, of course, starting January 4th for customers. Right now, I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I can order this as my pre-order. Actually, it's part of my celebration. So I was able to get this ahead of time because I'm a demonstrator, and we get to order a month earlier than customers. All right, so we can work with the product and show you. All right, so this is the front side. These all can be fussy cut out or die cut out with like circles. Sorry about that. And that's the back side here. And then this side. And then here's that side that we just used. And then here's these beautiful birds. I love the flowers and the coloring of this sheet here. And then here's the blue that we stamped on. Now I'm going to start coughing. And then here's the first card that we, I fussy cut out the birds. So that was card number 1. And then on the back side. Sorry. And then this one's beautiful. They're all beautiful. And then look at these cute little birds. They look so friendly. Sorry. Okay, and then now the cardstock. When I work with a class or trying to design a class, I take all the colors that are listed on the back side here, and I fan them out. And then I use binder clips here so they stay together. That way I can see my colors and kind of match up what I want to use. So with this, we have Boho Blue, Bubble Bath, Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, Soft Seafoam, and White. So those are all the colors. And you can mix and match however you want because they all look nice together. So that's kind of how I design. And we'll just take a real quick look one more time for the card designs and kind of what we did tonight. So that's the one we made. And this is the sample. We just flipped over the paper. And then here's the birds on this one. We have the double birds, 2 birds, and then we just have one on this side. And this, remember, was the edge, so we used that one and fussy cut that one out. And then here's the one with the Fresh Freesia and the natural elements over here. These are wood, which we colored in. And we've got the Flirty Flamingo linen thread. And then here's another one. And then the one we just barely made, So Happy to Celebrate You. And then here's the one on the opposite side. So again, you can earn this class for free with a $35 order using my host code. In order to get the iridescent foil gems, your order needs to be $50 or more. So this class will ship the first week of January, as long as I can get the product. So if I have to substitute these gems, I'll do that to the best ability as I can. The designer paper, I don't have to worry about because I have a ton of it. So I'm not worried about that. And then the cardstock, I have plenty and always can order more as long as it's in stock. If it's not, then I'll just use a different color because we all know that Stampin' Up! Has great color coordination. All right, if there's no, how can you decide they are both beautiful? Oh, how can I decide they're both beautiful? Which ones, Teresa? Oh, wait, how can you decide question mark? They are both beautiful. I get it now. Sorry, I'm a little slow on that one. It's got to be the head cold I still have. Okay, so I think we have everything taken care of. I will see you. I don't know. I didn't even look at the calendar. Let's see, 23, 24, 25. Christmas. I won't be here for Christmas. But depending on what we're doing though, because I know a lot of people sometimes are lonely on Christmas. It's very hard for people to, Christmas is very hard for some people that don't, are shut-ins or what have you. I might be stamping. So, family's going to be here until Saturday. They come Thursday and they'll be leaving Saturday. So it's just my husband and I that will be home on Christmas. He's got to work. So, I might do a live on in the evening time. So you might want to check me out and see if I'm there or not. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you know when I'm live. And yeah, that's great. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas. And until then, I hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks so much for watching.